Now you're supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to Windy City Redneck, the podcast, Season 3, Episode
Producers
12. Folks, we're having technical problems galore, so I'm going to keep looking down. Now, maybe this time it'll go through. Hopefully in segment 1, the audio portion is working out well. Looks like the video should work out okay, so we may have to swap some files. But welcome again to Season 3, Episode 12. You guys, at this point, title for this episode? What do you think?
I don't know.
No, we don't have it yet?
Come Monday.
Yeah, random thoughts of...
random thoughts.
Because we're really... I mean...
Whoop-de-doo.
We're kind of all over the place.
We are. Well, but we've also have not been here for a few weeks, so it's kind of like bring it back together.
Yeah. So I got another error, but it's working again, so who knows.
Okay.
So where I think we should go with this is that it's supposed to be a Jimmy Buffett episode, and we're talking about, I said where I first saw him and everything. But one of the things that I noticed this week, especially, or since he passed on social media, was the amount of people that he reached across so many genres and so many people that
so many age
on.
groups and so many
people in. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he was everything you needed him to be, no matter what that was. And his life, the Buffett lifestyle, the Margaritaville brand, is just party, have fun and party, and
enjoy yourself.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. And
it was nice seeing all the tributes too.
Amazing. So some of the things I read were unbelievable. That the interactions that people had with him, a woman that was like 24 years old was just sitting in a bar in Key West, and this elderly man was sitting next to her and asking her, "What do you want to do?" And she had quit her job and she wasn't sure what to do with her life. And his advice to her was follow your heart, don't follow and what do you want to do while you're here? And she was going to be in Key West for 4 days.
Okay.
And he says, I have some connections with, I'm going to send you tomorrow morning. You're going to get on a plane. You're going to go to this little island, like in Bimini, Bahamas, which is and she goes,
okay.
Yeah. And she did it, which is, I would not recommend that to my children.
If my daughter ever said, hey, some old guy came up to me and offered me a plane ride, I'd be like, yeah, you might want to stay
But he didn't even go with her. He just set her up with it.
I know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
I don't think he said.
But I think he was exactly what he needed to be for what you needed at that time.
Yeah.
And it was a party. And it didn't cover wealth. It didn't matter your station. It didn't matter. Anything didn't matter. It just, you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt, you're there to party. Yeah. And it's the nothing better than, as much as, we could all, if you've been to
Buffett, like forgetting yourself for the concerts were just, you forget yourself. You kind of you get lost in the whole being on an island somewhere, just listening to some good music, drinking some beer, hanging out with friends, and just
absolutely agree with that.
Was just,
but I think the tailgating is what leads up to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we met some people tailgating, and you've tailgated with us. You've tailgated with me at White Sox games. You've tailgated me with a lot of things
all the time. Yeah.
And what I love about the Buffett tailgates is everybody's there to do everything for everybody, and you don't have anything that you have at your state. Call it your state, your car, your whatever, your spot. That you're not willing to share with everybody. And I love that. I absolutely love that.
Did you ever see a fight at Jimmy Buffett? I never saw one fight at Jimmy Buffett.
Actually, and that's a great example of a great way to put in perspective.
Interesting that you bring
I've seen a lot of breasts, but not no fights.
Oh, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
My eyes are up here.
But they're usually covered with coconuts.
Yes.
There's
a couple that were unveiled.
So I was taken aback by of course you're always going to have tributes, but I liked the amount of the regular people type things, like that story you just told.
Yeah.
And how many families he touched and things he did for a guy who was absolutely not normal. He was a normal guy.
Yeah, he was an everyman. Yeah. And Google his net worth. It's as much as Paul McCartney's, and that struck me when I Google him when he died. I'm like,
well, he was an incredible businessman.
Just the kind of person he was, though, too.
Yeah.
The same guy that would sit down to the girl at the bar and talk to her and give her advice and help her out.
And the stories that I read over and over was exactly like that. Yeah. And that the difference is he listened.
Yeah.
and he asked questions about what the person he was talking to was saying.
Yeah, it wasn't all about him. It was
it was never about him.
Yeah, it was all about them.
And the one thing he kept talking about, the things that I read, was that he would talk about his children. He has 3 children. He would talk about his kids and his wife. And the one story, another story where the girl had asked, well, what does your daughter do? And he's like, well, she's involved in movies. Yeah. What's her name? It's in so-and-so Buffett, whatever the name. And forgive me, for 3 beers in.
Savannah and Delaney.
Yeah, so it had Delaney. And Delaney Buffett. And she was sitting there going, oh, my God, this is Jimmy Buffett that I'm talking to. She goes, my dad would kill me. My dad would kill me if I didn't know this. And then at the end of the story, she said, we FaceTime my dad just to make his day. And it was Buffett that insisted that we FaceTime her. Do you have FaceTime? Let's call your dad. Let's call my dad.
That's awesome.
I love that story.
Yeah.
How many celebrities? I met at a golf outing. Greg Brady, right? Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know his real name. I don't know his name, but Greg Brady. Everybody our age knows Greg Brady.
Yeah. Kind of goes back to George Glass.
And I felt so bad for him because...
Yeah, it does.
But at this golf outing, it was at Bolingbrook Country Club here in Chicago, southwest parts of Chicago. People kept pounding him. Every person at the school, would you call my mom? I want you to talk to my mom. Here's my mom. This is before FaceTime. So would you talk to my... And all I said to him when I met him was, I'm like, does that get old after a while? And he goes, it never gets old. No, because it means so much to them.
Yeah. And it's not about him. It's about them.
And good for Greg Brady.
Yeah. To be like that.
He hasn't had much of a career other than the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he's got too much going. But yeah, I mean...
Well, the interesting thing with him, and you talk about the kids, and so you have Savannah and Delaney, and then his son Cameron. Yeah. Cameron was adopted. Cameron is not blood. He adopted. Him and his wife adopted Cameron, and really didn't come out until the end here. That's.
Well, no, I think he knew from the beginning.
I mean, it wasn't that important to him. I mean, it was but it
wasn't important to put it out there.
No, but right, well, yeah, because he never treated him like he was adopted.
Yeah. No, and I think you brought up the point that he listened, and he would listen to people's stories and
engaged.
And I don't know if I have the hardcover version, the first book. His first novel he wrote was "Where in the World Is Joe Merchant?"
Yeah, okay,
which is a really good book. I actually read that on, is it Somers Beach? What's the one that's at Key West? It's a really small beach.
I don't know.
Somers or Sumner's Beach. It might be Sumner's Beach, which is near the southernmost point of the United States of America by the concrete buoy that's been through hell and back. And I read that book, portions of that book, on that beach.
How cool!
And it's not a very glorious beach, by the way. It's a pretty shitty beach. And I may have the name of it wrong, but I think it's Somner's Beach or something like that. But I read that book. It's got a kick-ass cover on it. Where in the World is Joe Merchant? And it actually has Buffett's seaplane. Is part of the jacket cover on it.
So that's the story about the seaplane, right? About him landing and getting shot at
in Jamaica. In Jamaica, they fucked up and they shot down Jimmy Buffett. Fucking plane had like a gazillion holes in it, but only he
got a song out of it though.
Yeah, he did. But only he could fucking land it, and then. And then after that, the story that I saw about that is anytime a seaplane came in, they always fucking worried if it was Buffett. They were worried about he was coming in. But what a great entertainer. But he wrote that book. And it's interesting you say that he listened. And
because I don't? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I'm saying is that any great writer, songwriter, book writer, movie script writer, sitcom writer, people have a lot of... Like, people talk about Taylor Sheridan from Yellowstone.
I've never talked about
that he's brilliant, that he came up with all this stuff, okay? But it has to be inspired from somewhere, and it has to come from somewhere. And guys like Jimmy Buffett, when they go out and they meet people and whatever. And the other thing, too, that's interesting about him, it's an observation I have, we're parrot heads, so we get it, okay? If he's at a bar or restaurant and he's just an average dude, he's not fucking Bon Jovi. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's not. He hasn't.
But he's worth more.
Yes.
But my point is that he is not
No, he's by himself.
Not all over
he's
everything.
by himself.
So you have to be a parrot head and know who Jimmy Buffett is to know that he's Jimmy Buffett.
And then he always
honestly,
dressed so
casual, down.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and I think it's by design.
But basically, I mean, he looked like your average dude, so he could blend in. So definitely. He had the uncanny ability, this is just my opinion and an observation I have, to blend in and actually be able to have unfiltered interaction with people that didn't know that he was Jimmy Buffett. A lot of the people he probably talked to didn't even know who the fuck Jimmy Buffett was.
I probably knew who he was, but never was vested into it like we are. Yeah. And the one thing, a small regret I have, the time we saw him in Paris, Sheila was, my wife was away on a girls' weekend, and while she was gone, they announced that he was going to, first time ever play in Dublin. And so my wife's got deep Irish roots. And so I pick her up from the airport, and she's like, how was your weekend? I was like, well, okay, well, I didn't go away, so my weekend was what it was. But I said, just so you know, I'm waking up at 3 a.m. because it's 9 a.m. Ireland time.
They're selling.
That's when they go on sale. I'm going to get tickets for Buffett's going sale in Dublin. I ended up getting 4 tickets for Dublin the week before Paris, which we already had the Paris tickets.
Okay.
And I was so excited because he was playing the Olympia Theatre in Dublin, Olympic or Olympia, whatever it was called. And it was real similar to Paris in that it was like maybe a 400, 500 seat auditorium. And it's not like here where it's this, he plays Wrigley Field or he plays Alpine Valley or he plays Tinley Park. It would be just this stadium that goes like just like a theater, like a
smaller venue,
like a theater,
like the one in Paris.
Yeah. Okay. And so we got 4 tickets. Sheila's cousin and her husband that live just outside of Dublin we were going to go with, and it was great. But then they announced that the Bears were going to play the week after Paris.
Oh, I remember this now.
In London,
Tottenham. At Tottenham Stadium, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, we're going to see. I can't go away for 3 weeks. We're going to see the Bears. We're going to see the Bears in London. And I wish I would have done it. I wish I just would. Yeah. Just because I heard. But I will tell you, my wife's cousin and her husband. My wife's cousin's husband said to me, "I get it now. I didn't know anything about Jimmy Buffett. I knew cheeseburger song. I knew the cheeseburger song. I knew the margarita song. I knew the one song they had to hit in the 70s. I went there. I'm happy with that. Similar to letting your friend from work experience. And I, when we were listening to a little bit of the playback, and I think I said something sounded shitty. I didn't give her a great deal. I'm happy she went to the concert. We were going to let the tickets go away. Your friend that you work with.
Yeah.
So it sounded like pretty arrogant of me the way I'm like, I gave her.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah. I mean, opportunity. Sometimes stars align, which I believe is a line in one of his songs.
Yeah. So he's got a new album coming out. Do you know that?
Is that Bubbles Up?
Well, that's the song that was released. I don't know if the album's called that.
I've seen the video of it.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
It's pretty good. Yeah, and the words are pretty good, and it's scuba diving terms. I mean, I get it. McCartney's playing on one of the songs, I guess. Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's actually an inspirational song. It's Bubbles Up when life's getting you hard. Just follow the bubbles.
But he wrote it. I mean, what's amazing too is that then the story comes out is that he was battling this form of cancer, which was a brutal one, for 4 years.
So I had a friend pass away
nobody
from the
had
same
any
cancer, and I
idea.
understand the process that he went through, and I'm amazed that he toured as recently as last July.
Yeah.
He played with Mac McAnally July 5th, something like it at some festival, and you could tell he was so skinny, but he still sounded good, and he still played.
So you bring up Matt McAnally, okay? So let me hit it, and I didn't think I was going to go this route this early, but I'll ask both of you. How old was he? Was he 70? Was he 72, 78? God.
I know he's in the 70s.
That's what I have to Google.
Always unprepared.
Yes, never informed.
Or whatever our new slogan is.
He was in his 70s.
Never accurate.
But
That's it.
I think he was born
always inaccurate.
He was
never prepared.
He was born in 46, so that makes him
never
77,
prepared, always inaccurate.
Yeah.
So
he was born in 46.
Somebody fact check this. My point was
sure we'll get some comments.
How do you fact check? We're saying we're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I don't even know what the hell
Matt McAnally.
Matt McAnally.
Yep.
Do you think that the music can go on parallels? The Grateful Dead. they still have this tour where it's some of the guys that were in it at some point.
No, because,
Pink Floyd
because it's not called Weir and the Grateful Dead. It's Jimmy Buffett and the Core Reefer Band. So no, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band will never go on after Springsteen dies.
And you don't think Buffett? You don't think?
I think it'll live on. It'll live on forever.
He's had his own.
He's in the Country Hall of Fame before he even. I mean,
he's got a lot of stuff out.
Yes,
too. Yeah. But whether or not he can carry on the Parrot Head tradition.
Do you ever see his? I have the album in my attic. I wish I would have got it out. He actually had a country album that was called Rancho Deluxe.
Who's this?
Mac or
Buffett?
Buffett did.
Buffett.
Okay.
It's Rancho Deluxe.
He originally wanted to be a country.
He did. He did, and he was in a movie at the same time. And the music that was from Rancho Deluxe, I don't know if the movie was Rancho Deluxe, but the album was called Rancho Deluxe.
It was a porn.
And he had a porn mustache back then, so that's for sure. Thin. But the guy that was acting in it was Hoyt Axton.
Oh wow! Okay.
And Hoyt Axton is in the creds. That's back in the day when we were in high school, back in the 80s. And you'd listen to music, and you'd actually read a fucking album jacket, the liner notes, right?
Yep.
I mean, that was
the words.
I remember sitting in a fucking beanbag chair from Zaire. And it had
mine was from Venture.
It had Venture, and it had electric tape holding the toxic bulb beads inside of it, right? And you'd sit there and you'd read the fucking jacket and the liner notes,
you
right?
would get high and then read them.
Well, see, now I didn't do that. You guys might have done it, but anyway.
I didn't either, but
as a disclaimer, I cannot answer that fully.
I cannot confirm nor deny. Did you have anything to do with that fighter jet that was missing, by the way?
No.
You can't confirm nor deny?
No,
all right, we'll get into that in a little bit. I want to get into some current events before we close out. But anyway, getting back to it is that, I mean, it doesn't seem like that would be one of the ones where you could continue on without him.
No. So a couple people, like, help me out here. Tennessee Whiskey. Who seems Tennessee Whiskey?
Oh, Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton is a guy that wants to have that same following. And then another country artist. Forgive me, I'm not a country man. And I apologize.
It's okay.
I don't hate country. I just don't.
You just dislike it.
Yeah, I just dislike people that like it.
No.
Oh shit, we should leave.
No, I don't. Shit.
Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, Kenny Chesney. Is
he did the tribute song, didn't he? Yeah, on the beach. That was
nice. Those guys can carry on the concept or the lifestyle.
Yeah, and then who's the one that he did 5 o'clock somewhere?
Oh, but he'll be dead soon too.
Alan Jackson's suffering from some stuff too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just said those guys all kind of. I mean, he did. What was the other one with Zach Brown?
Zach Brown's. Yeah, it could be Zach Brown.
Zach kind of like he did the one song, Toes or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. And I think the term is heir apparent. I don't think there's anyone.
No, there isn't, because
the guy that, in my mind, that could be the closest would be Kenny Chesney.
Yeah,
a little bit,
because he embraced it while he was alive, and he embraced all of the.
That's kind of where I was. That's kind of where I was going. I'm like, and if they don't take over for him, they would basically just embrace him at their concerts.
Embrace.
Let's do some tributes to Jimmy and do some songs.
Well, incorporate into what I'm doing.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly.
The interesting thing about
maybe
Buffett,
bring some of the band members on to do some songs and stuff like that.
The interesting thing about Jimmy, though, and I talked to him like I knew him.
Well, that was kind of the best thing about him. Is like you go to the concerts, you almost felt like you knew him.
Everybody did.
Yeah,
everybody did.
Yeah, you watch the video. Like I feel like I knew him more now because I've been watching so many videos on him. And it's just because you kind of feel like you lost a family member.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I cried.
Yeah.
Did you cry?
Well, I'm about to cry now because I'm talking about it.
I cried that morning. I woke up in the middle of the night, and the dogs have to go out all the time, and I get up and I take a piss, and I open up my phone, and it was on there
because he's got a 1979 flip phone.
Well, dude, and I did not go back to bed. I got up. And first thing I did was I took my phone, threw it on the charger on the counter.
Did you text me? Several people texted me that, like, in the middle of the night when he...
I texted...
The reason I say that is because of my death thing that I do.
Yeah.
You're the wrong person. Yeah. And I was sitting there, you know what? I was waiting for it.
You are such a fucking
I'm sitting there, I'm just like, if Jim does one of those, I'm like, I got to go over there.
There's been two people that I haven't done it with.
Who was it?
It was Barbara Bush Well, I didn't do the Queen yet. The Queen, you can't do Queen.
No, you fucked if you do the Queen.
Yeah,
But
I was just
Barbara
like, I'm like,
Bush
that would be in bad taste.
and Jimmy Buffett.
When did you? What year did you start that?
Whenever Roger Moore died, because I Googled, not that I ever was a Roger Moore fan.
But how long ago do you know?
I Google it. Whenever Roger Moore died, I don't know.
Oh,
But I remember
Google, when did Whiskey Jim start being a prick and with dead people? I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up.
I Googled. I'm like, it's similar. Not that I woke up and.
Can you explain to our folks what you do?
On social media, when a celebrity dies, I always put. Well, not all. It started out with Roger Moore.
Dude, and your timing is unfucking believable. Do you have a death alarm on your phone?
I don't, but people text me now when somebody
Most
dies.
of the time I find out that somebody
From
dies,
me,
it's
yes.
from you.
I get messages from people saying,
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yes.
And then it's
So,
just like,
so I do a RIP.
Tell our viewers.
I do an RIP, and I say the name, so call it Roger Moore. Yeah. And then I posted Sean Connery's picture because originally I Googled Roger Moore
and Sean
Connery came up.
Sean Connery's picture came up.
So that's how it started.
That's how it started. I'm like, that'd be funny.
So what are some of your best
every
ones?
time, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, the anniversary was yesterday or the last 2 days.
So now you're doing anniversry?
No.
RIPs?
It came
Okay.
up that reminded me that.
Oh,
I
in
remember.
your
last
time.
I used Edna, like from the Incredibles, the little lady with the glasses. Okay. That's what I used. So that's an example of.
You are such a fucking prick.
So I usually use my theory is, or my formula is someone that.
And I hope that this is working because I need the audio. This thing is said right error for like
someone
forever.
who looks like them or their name is the same.
Okay.
And then I love it because there's a couple friends of mine that text me like, dude, do you get like 100 new friends every day? Because people are like, that's not so and so.
Yeah.
And they still do
the
it.
Because
2 days. Yeah.
But everybody should know by
You
now
would
as
think,
your friends.
But you know what it is?
The
And
last
I'm
time
tied
somebody
into
died.
Buffett, but go ahead.
Yeah, but the last time you did that, the first time I seen, like, it was me and you just kind of like became friends on Facebook,
Right.
and I'm just like, what the? Like, that's not who that guy is. And then I started reading the comments. I'm like, oh, I guess he does this for a lot of people and
He
stuff like
does.
that. So then, when I seen Buffett pass, I'm like, oh, Jim does it. I'm going to be mad.
So
you didn't do it for Buffett?
I didn't do it for
no,
Buffett.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
that's-
hey,
Because it means it means a lot. It meant
good job.
exactly.
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
that Buffett, his lifestyle,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're cool and everybody thinks they're laid
But
back.
I'm sure that you don't mean in all the other ones that you've done.
No, I
don't think
it's,
you mean any disrespect.
I think it's
Really?
There's
disrespect,
a
but-
little dig there somewhere.
how about lack of respect? That's not disrespect, right?
No, it's just a lack of it. Yeah.
It's not respectful.
I remember the first one. I don't remember who it was, but I'm just like, that picture don't. And then, was it you or somebody else posted a picture of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler.
When who died?
He didn't die, but they just posted something, and it was like,
No, it wasn't me.
He was all in garb that, like, he looked like a trans.
Oh, he did. He
Oh,
did
no,
look
I
like
somebody
a
that-
tranny.
it wasn't me.
Somebody
No, it wasn't
posted
me,
it.
but I
was
know the
like,
picture.
Yeah, and it's just like so and so.
No, that's like a week ago. I saw that one, too.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, that looks like Steven Tyler, and like, it is Steven.
No, but so what, tied into
to
Buffett.
caption
People are passionate about certain celebrities, whether it's music, whether it's an actor, whether it's politicians, and that they're so passionate about that specific one, and that's what they have blinders on. That's like, but not my celebrity. It's funny until it's mine.
Yeah.
And Buffett was that to everybody. I mean, he was everybody's. Like, he did no harm to no. He was Mr. Rogers. He was Mr. Rogers with a drink in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, the guy wrote.
Hell of a life.
And he wanted nothing but good. He wanted nothing but don't be
listen.
better. Just have fun. Just have fun.
So
Just
how
forget
does
about life for a while. I'm like,
So how does
Well, that
a
was the
guy-
best thing about the concerts. You go there and you forgot about life for a while. You
So how
enjoyed
does a
yourself.
guy like that? I know I apologize to our viewers and listeners when we got started that I strayed away from Windy City Redneck for a while. And, obviously we all have day jobs and you're doing the other things, but how does a guy like him have time to do the following? Become one of the world's most prominent entertainers in the world, write novels, learn how to fly a fucking plane,
that was shot
start-
down and still
yeah, resorts, restaurants, everything he's got going on, and is still relatable to the common man and have this incredible empire.
It's
How do you
in
have
my
time to
opinion,
do that?
it's the textbook about how to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because most celebrities are douchebags. They're douchebags.
Dude,
Or they get tired
I barely
of the-
have time to
and or maybe that's what it is.
kind of
And
like you said with Brady.
Yeah.
Greg. That.
Brady for acknowledging. I mean, he's a fringe celebrity at best.
Yeah. But
his peak was 77.
Yeah. But anyways, getting back to that point though,
Yeah.
it's just he just some guys get tired of it. I could see like constantly being hounded. I just want to be left alone sometimes.
So
I also think you get a certain amount of money and you're like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
But he was never that way.
No, not at all.
No. Hell no.
No, like I said, I've been watching some of the YouTube videos and stuff like that, and he goes over like the one from Margaritaville where he goes over all his videos, and he's like, in between, I had to call a favor for this because I mean, his schedule just sounded insane. He was always, oh wait, I got this later on. I got to go here. I got to go there. I got to do this. Trying to cut a video in the middle of it, and it just sounded insane, you know. And then he's got another show to do, and his whole life. I mean, how do you just keep going? What do you need?
The coaster.
And not only did he pull it all off, he pulled it off with consistency
and
accuracy,
excelled at it.
And
but I also think the one thing you learn about celebrities and not athletes, because athletes are different because they're pushed from younger age, but most comedians, singers, and actors have had such rock bottom. And I think he was there. He was there until his...
the one video is his truck's got like rust holes in it. Like the beginning of that one video. He's like, hey, you know Jimmy Buffett? And it's like at the beginning of his career. It's a rock
bottom that we can never... We all have had bad times. We've all have had, oh shit, but it's nothing we can ever relate to these people. Yeah. And I think his rock bottom was so bad that he never wanted to get there again. And his empire was driven on making sure no one else got there.
Really?
Yeah. Just trying to help everybody else out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a perspective,
I guess, right? I mean,
sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the overall thing that
I tried 3 times.
It keeps falling off.
That's why I was giggling when you were saying that. I was like, I watched it fall down.
But it's amazing how he was able to continue doing all of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
even up till the very end.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Is that for 4 years.
I mean,
and he still did that concert.
So my wife and I, Sheila and I, saw him 4 years ago, and I just remember the concert. What I remember about the concert.
Where was it? Which one?
Alpine. It was at Alpine.
Okay.
And I remember getting in the car, and Sheila and I talked, and we're like, I think he was saying goodbye to us. I think he was saying goodbye to everybody. Like, it was really weird. It was different than the other concerts.
Okay. Well, which one was that?
Well, that would have been when he was diagnosed.
So go back 2019.
If you're looking for,
because I was
saying 4 years.
Sure, 2019.
Yeah,
4 years ago is when he was diagnosed.
Yeah, and I remember just going, I mean, wow,
it was different.
Is there something going on?
Yeah, there's something going on. There's something going on.
Yeah, but see, that's only something that you, as an avid and loyal fan that's been to concerts over the years, could pick up. And it's also kudos to you and the other parrot heads that are out there that pay attention to his concerts. I mean, one of the things that I know from all the concerts I've been to with him is you never go away. Yeah. No. You're afraid to take a piss because you don't know what the fuck you're going to miss.
But what I love, another thing I love about Buffett concerts, he would build the go piss section into the concert.
Yeah.
He would play songs. He would play songs that he knew you didn't want to hear.
It'd be the new ones.
Or
he'd play a video.
Yeah, or play
one of his.
He did a video like at the.
One of his "Go Take a Piss" songs, I think, was "Slow Boat to China," right?
I guess, right? Yeah, could be. Right.
It was like his version of what's the long Led Zeppelin song that's like fucking 3 days long? You know what I'm talking about? There's one that's like really long. It's like 17 minutes or something like that.
Okay.
Slow Boat to China.
Like Inagana Devita.
Yeah, like Slow Boat to China was his song, and I remember when that one came out, I'm like, what the fuck?
When we talked about it before we were doing this, about you saw a concert at Red Rocks, and when we saw Buffett at Red Rocks, it was
Colorado?
different. Yeah. That's where I got the Fender Hawaiian shirt out in Henderson. Or no, maybe it was Henderson. But anyways, excuse me. There was no line. Like, Sheila goes to the bathroom. She's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I'll bring us back beers. I'm like, I'll see you in 2 hours. Yeah. And she was back in like 11 minutes. I'm like, did she not go to the bathroom? She's like,
yeah, but he had so many songs that you couldn't miss.
But because of Red Rocks, if you remember what we said.
Yeah.
It was Red Rocks was different. Red Rocks was different than any other venue I've ever been to, and it's different now because cannabis is legal everywhere.
Yeah.
But back in the day, everyone was.
This is only
no
a
one
couple years
drank.
ago. This
Everyone was stoned.
So I'll go back by saying we've tried to go see him in Paris multiple times. When the year we couldn't, like one of the year we were going to go, we had it all booked. And we had a wedding we had to go to the weekend. So we're like, and certainly happy we didn't miss a wedding. Yeah. but we're like, oh, let's go see him. I remember Sheila and I were sitting in a restaurant. It wasn't Chicago Prime Italian, wasn't Bartolini's, but it was. She goes, he's playing in Vegas on a Thursday, and then he's playing 2 days later. Or I'm sorry, playing in Red Rocks on a Thursday, and then 2 days later in Vegas.
Did you see him in Vegas?
Yeah, we saw him in Vegas.
Where at?
He always played at MGM Grand.
Okay.
It was awesome. Yeah. And sitting there at dinner, I looked up, I found flights from Chicago to Red Rocks for $79 from Red Rocks or from Denver to Vegas for $39, and then home for another $40. I'm like, it was almost.
How could you not?
How could you not?
Yeah.
It was more expensive for the tickets than it was.
Well, it was kind of like, how do you not go to the Bears game when you're in Europe and he's right?
In hindsight,
All right,
I
so
would have.
give me a count.
Because the Bears lost. I would,
Give me a count. How many times?
I don't know.
saw him?
I don't know. I tried to. So I found ticket stubs. I've been looking. Like I found all our old ticket stubs.
Nice.
I don't know how many times. It's more than 20 and less than 40. How's that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job. I know for me, it's 16 to maybe 20. I will admit, as there in the last several years, you picked up the torch. I mean, you saw him in so many places, and I think the last time I saw him was. Did I go with your sister? Was she part of the party bus, and Greg and his wife went? I think you were on the bus. Didn't you go with us as well? We had the bus had the stripper pole.
Where did they play at? Where did he play?
Soldier Field.
No, he never played Soldier Field. He
It
played.
was downtown, dude. I'm telling you.
It was Northern Ireland.
Northerly Island.
Yeah, Northerly Island.
Did you go with us on that one?
No,
was
I
all
didn't
wet.
go to that one. I didn't
Remember
go to
the
that
grass was all
Your
wet?
sister went with us.
one. Yeah, that was. Yeah, you guys went with Diane.
That was the last time.
I
That
had
was
to
the
work.
last time I saw him. So
Yeah.
that was.
We were at that show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was. a good one.
I know everybody was upset because you had to walk so much. You had to a lot of because it was so far away for parking or something.
Yeah, well,
like that.
no,
I
But do you remember they used to have
Northerly
boats to
Island
go
was a
across, like just to? It was ferry boats to take people, but
Yeah, I mean, that's
a
a fucked up place, but whatever. But that was the last time I saw him. So I would definitely say, 16 to 20.
I will tell you about Paris. God damn, it was awesome.
It had to be nice. That small venue type.
It was.
I mean,
So before you tell the story-
he's personable when you're with thousands of people.
Right.
So just to be in that small venue had to be phenomenal.
So let me get your perspective on this. So you saw him in Paris.
Yeah.
Name the other foreign places you went to.
No, Paris is it, I guess.
That's
We
it?
had tickets for
But you saw him in Ireland.
No, we didn't see him in Ireland.
you didn't go.
Okay.
Went to the-
All right. So Ireland wouldn't count because they speak Ireland there. But in
Irish,
Paris,
but okay. Gaelic.
Ireland.
Ireland.
In Paris, what is French the dominant language in Paris?
Yes, that's France. Yes.
But I'm saying is no. I get it. But but when
So
you're-
he lived in Louisiana. He speaks
But
fluent
when you're
French.
at
does
the
he really?
concert,
Now that I didn't
but
know.
when you're at the concert
Yes.
and he's singing in English,
So I have a great story about this
what
exact question.
what is the crowd like?
The crowd is 100% Americans.
There's no locals.
The story in the so actually there were some international people, and what I liked about the international people is they all brought these those little Live Strong bracelets,
Right.
And it would give them away. It was like the European tour. Well, here, and we were the next morning after we saw him in Paris. Sheila and I are having breakfast or late lunch or whatever it was, and there was this couple from Scotland, and I'm half deaf. And the other half I can't really hear well, and I couldn't understand a word which is ironic because then a year later I go work for a Scotch company. But I couldn't understand a word this fucking guy said. Excuse me, but you said fuck 17 times. So
Yeah, we're explicit.
A lot of
language.
bleeps.
and he had like whatever he had, and I'm talking to this guy, and there is a giant European following that they came, but French really isn't. And what he told us was
So why does he play in Paris?
Yeah, I was going to say where's
because of his it's home for him. It's his get his compass right. And
And it's supposed to be a beautiful city.
It's gorgeous. Paris is gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. And all the shit people say about Parisians, they were great to us. They were great to me. And I'm an asshole, and they were great to me.
They probably recognized you as one of their own.
except for Roger Moore. He didn't.
Right.
He didn't care for you. Oh wait, he was already dead.
Yes, but
no,
so
Sean Connery. Was
Sean
dead?
Connery.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But so the French soccer team, football team, their best player went to the concert. He had a suit on, he had a tie on, and he never even heard a minute of Buffett play because no one knew who he was, and everybody was dressed like you.
Okay.
So what did he do?
He
Just
left.
stood
They
there.
left. He left. No,
Get
he
out.
left. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But I'll tell you, I mean, this is how cool it was. We go in. There was a long line for beer, and someone was like, "There's a mezzanine level, like this second level. There's 3 levels, and the mezzanine level was just a bar, a shirt stand or a merchandise stand, and then a viewing area." And so Sheila goes, "I'm going to go up and go see if there's no line." And some guy comes down. Well, she comes down. There's no line up there for beer. I'm like, "Oh, we go up there." I go, "Let's go out and look at the viewing area." Our tickets were down on the floor. And these guys are like, what I wore was, since we're going to see the Bears a week later, I had a Bears Hawaiian shirt. And so we walk out to this mezzanine viewing area, and this guy's like, "Chicago!" But he was from Boston.
He's just happy somebody.
He saw the Bears stuff. Yeah,
Of course he was.
And I'm like,
Of course he was.
so next thing you know, we're standing right at the rail with them. I'm 20 feet from this, like just right at the stage. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then you've both been to the shows. He's got these giant screens. He's got all this.
There's shit going on the whole time.
This was the band on a stage playing songs, and that was it.
Oh, no big, large
nothing.
video.
No.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's such a small venue. You
Yeah,
really
it was so different and so
Yeah,
cool,
so
and I
nice.
wish every Buffett fan could have seen him in that environment. Kind of
did.
like what I sang his last concert he did.
I did Holiday Star Theater.
Yeah, right,
I don't
right,
think
and
that place. That was like a
No, it
high
was the
school
stage there. I was
gymnasium,
there.
dude.
The
I'm telling
stage
you,
has been.
it was
I think I saw
small.
the Oak Ridge Boys there.
Well, then
It was
that was at
small
the
as
beginning of his
fuck.
career too, so it
Yeah.
was probably low budget and just a regular concert. None of all the
Well,
stuff he
actually,
had
it
at
wasn't
the end
because he did, not to correct you, but I mean, if you look back at his
But I'm
story,
going to.
he was a small venue, and I mean, but to your point though, you knew the story. You know the story of him. I mean, he was struggling. He was like bouncing from here to there and everything, but he still had a draw, and it's just an amazing thing how it snowballed,
Right.
and then it left,
And it was it's an empire. I mean, it's an empire, and an empire doesn't do it justice. I mean,
Do you guys think that there's any other entertainer like? So you get your Deadheads, and you got you got your Springsteen fans and everything.
I was going to say Springsteen's close, but
do you
I don't.
think?
I don't
Do you think there's anyone
alive.
that has ever had that type of following?
Taylor Swift right now does.
Yeah, she does. Yeah,
Taylor Swift does.
Could you see the amount of money they're paying
Yeah.
for tickets? And she's
But do you think-
she's a marketer.
Yeah.
she does.
She's doing
She's
things
a
right
very
away.
smart.
And with that
person.
said, I couldn't tell you one song by her.
No.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think she's long term?
Yeah, I do. She's already got.
Yeah, she's huge.
She's got a lifetime of songs. Yeah, a generational songbook. Yes, she does. Yeah. And
You
it, she didn't even own it. She re-recorded all her songs that she didn't own the rights to the music to.
Yeah. Okay.
So she can have the rights to it.
Oh, really?
I believe. I mean, I could.
Okay.
You guys can fact check that, but
Yeah. But that sounds about something
Yeah.
that she done.
which good for her. I mean,
somebody was just.
she's
talking
got good people around her. She's got. Yeah, she seems very relatable.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to a radio show and I had a guy from Styx, CJ or
Southside Chicago guy.
James Young.
Oh yeah, Dennis DeYoung,
JY. Yeah, they had him on Coast to Coast the other night, and he was talking about, and they were talking about the music industry, and he brought her up about how, she's got marketing and the price and how it works.
and great, smart people around her.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that you kind of bring that up.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know about anybody else that's got that.
Well, I
much
think
following.
Springsteen has a huge
Right.
following,
Yeah.
but I also I get the same vibe with Springsteen that I got with Buffett 5 years ago.
Okay, I've never seen
That
him.
we saw him. So we saw him
Okay.
twice in the last year.
Okay.
In Milwaukee in March, and then at Wrigley in August.
What's up?
Sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
Oh, And this is market brand hand sanitizer in case everybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're looking for any sponsors, by the way.
And after both shows, we saw Springsteen.
Okay.
In Milwaukee, he canceled for the next 4 shows because supposedly someone in his band had COVID. And then after Wrigley, shortly after, they played 2 or 3 more shows after Wrigley, but they canceled the whole month of September. And supposedly he's got peptic ulcers.
Oh, you're talking about Springsteen.
Yeah,
now.
so I think we've
Just trying to find out who's maybe got that kind of an empire.
Kind of like the last month when you walked away from the podcast, we continued talking.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, kind of, and then like you said, the Grateful Dead. If Jerry Garcia was still alive, oh my God, they would still have such a. I mean, they're still doing it with We're doing that.
Well, I think the Springsteen thing.
Another great artist, though. Great artist.
I get it.
He knows how to play a crowd. He knows how to put on a show.
So I'll just be forthright with you and say the following: is Jimmy Buffett appealed to everyone, had no political lines and everything.
No, I agree with that. I've thrown my political bias aside with Springsteen because
you have.
I like the music. I
can't. I can't get past that.
I like the music.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the music and I get it, but
I will tell you
where this country is going.
We saw him twice this last year, and you know what?
I had on my America.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've got my America bracelet and everything. I believe in this country. Again, like I said, I'm working with the American Legion folks and everything, and I'm sorry, I don't have time for that anymore. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
What I'll tell you, the only thing he spoke of at both concerts was Milwaukee and Chicago. He said. That looked really inappropriate. Here's the number for a food bank. This food bank is in front of us. There's people in this city that can't eat, that are going to go home tonight without food. Please, if you can, whatever you got in your pocket. He was nothing political at all.
Okay.
And at that, I can absolutely get behind.
Exactly. Everybody needs to eat.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I support that. So that's cool. I don't have a problem with that part. No, I do support that.
Angry elf.
But to me, that's that guy doing an olive branch. It's the shit that goes on.
Well, but I also let's tie it back
his
in.
liberalism that I believe is part of what's
is there something
making
bigger going on with him maybe that we don't know about? That maybe he does. I don't know. I got the same vibe with Springsteen that I got with
my point on that is, you know what? You're an entertainer. Entertain. I don't need your political.
Bingo, and Buffett did that.
Yeah, that's what I loved about him. You know?
One of the best things. One of the best things I love about that. And I'm going to call Michael Jordan an entertainer because he was a great athlete and great entertainer. What he said, and I love this quote: "Republicans buy shoes too."
I love that.
And just leave it at that.